my dear Yord fans. I love y'all, and I love all of the kindness, appreciation, humor, pride, joy that you have been investing into this Yord horde and into Yord. I cannot thank you enough for taking the time to notice me and notice this performance and notice the Yords of the world, the people who are trying to do what's best. I hope we all have space and patience for people like that. I'm also sorry I'm dead.
And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. Nursery Bully, your host Leroy, aka the one who headbutts lightsabers, with my co-host.
This is Eli, aka Big League Chew Baca.
Ah, I got that one. Okay.
You're old as fuck.
Exactly. And want to give a shout out to us and our esteemed colleague, the AI. Because if nobody else, they are with us.
CPAI.
Yeah, so here's the
RTAI.
thing. So we have a light show. We didn't have a whole lot to talk about. So Eli, I want to dig into we had such a popular thing with the pop culture last week. I want to dig into some more stuff. So
All right.
how about we talk about sports this weekend?
Sports.
Yes, sports. Ball.
Athletics.
Athletic, because if there's one thing nerds love, is physical activity.
That's right.
So let's talk about
PE.
it. Anyway, we're gonna talk about it. So I don't know if you've been keeping up with the NBA draft happened this week, but apparently something big happened, something historic happened this weekend. So number 55 in the draft pick was LeBron James Jr. Now, I don't know how much you know about sports, but there's a LeBron James Sr. that's in the NBA right now.
I am aware of that, yes.
Okay, just making sure we're on the same page. Okay, so that makes it historic that the first time a father and son duo is going to play at the same time in the NBA. So I thought that was pretty good. Like that's never happened before, you know.
On different teams?
No, same team.
Oh, well, that sucks. They should go head to head, man.
You want some Darth Vader Luke shit, you know?
like Rey Mysterio and his son is on WWE. They're fighting.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Okay, I didn't think about that. I was going through my head thinking like how many professional like times that it's happened before, and you're right that it's happened in WWE. So, but also in professional sports, can you name another time this happened?
Father and son.
Griffey,
Ken Griffey, and
boom! Junior? Look at you. You sports maniac, you sports nerd. Who says you're a nerd? Eli is a fake nerd. I'm telling you right now, he is a jock. He's the one that was putting swirlies in people and throwing them in toilets.
Yeah, throwing kids in dumpsters and shit.
Right.
Hey, Jakey Poo is in the house.
Jake, what's going on? Did he say the boss is here? Yeah. The champ is here. Yeah. All right. So that's a good thing right there. Now, it's funny you asked about the Eli, about how they're playing on the same team, because there is some controversy about what's going on about that, like how LeBron James or Bronny got it to the same team as his dad, because people are saying that there may be a collusion, you know, how maybe LeBron shouldn't have been in the, you know, in the front office behind the scenes playing puppet master. You know, maybe it's nepotism. You know, maybe his son isn't even good enough to be in the league, you know, with the way he shit the bed in college. But that's neither here nor there. This isn't the podcast for that. I know Eli knows everything about it because he just said he's a sports maniac, but we're not here for that. What I want to do is relate this to comics. Okay. That's what we're here for. Yeah. Because.
Oh, you're talking about the Ramita boys?
It's happened in comics before also. But yeah, and that comics doesn't count because you can't. Like physically, at 35, I can't draw comics anymore. No, they can go past that. So yeah, you got the Ramita boys, you got the Cuberts, you know, it's had before. Yeah. And reason I'm talking about that because in comics, there's a storyline that's on TV right now that said they actually based their storyline this season off this. And guess what that guess what the TV show was?
Acolyte? I don't know.
The Boys. I've actually
Yeah.
talked about that before. They actually said it back at the beginning of the season. Like the storyline they're doing right now is the LeBron James Bronny storyline. They're saying like, what if he recruited his son to the team and he's getting old and there may be a power struggle between them and stuff like that. So that's the thing they decided to go with. So I'm like, okay, that's actually pretty cool. But that's not the only time that's happened in comics. Like I said, there's been other times in comics where there has been a father-son duo on the same team. For instance, Cyclops and Cable.
Oh, I suppose. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, Vegeta and
Damien,
Trunks.
Damien and Bruce Wayne.
Sometimes, depending.
On the same team. Yeah,
on the same team. But you get the point. You get the point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So that's what I want to talk about. I just want to bring that. That's a historic moment. So I just want to bring that to light. And I thought that was pretty cool. Also, something else happened this week that we're probably not going to talk about, but I just briefly mention it. It was a debate that happened, and these were your two candidates. So
shit.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just leave it on. All I'm gonna say is that if one gets elected, he not gonna make it another 4 years. And if another gets elected, we not gonna make another 4 years. So
yeah.
damn if you do, damn if you don't. That's all I want to say. Move on past that. I think we dipped our toe in that enough, Eli. Start
stocking up on water and canned goods, y'all.
Right. We've done it before. We're experts at this now. All right. So Eli, you saw a movie. And you just sprung this up on me at the last minute. I have no idea what it is. Have never heard of it before. But that's what you're here for, to enlighten me. So I'm gonna bring you in. The movie you saw was, and I completely fucked this up at the beginning of it. A Violent Nature? Is that it?
In a Violent Nature.
In a Violent Nature? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's we're the movie crew. See, we know more about sports than movies. That's people need to know that. But like I said, this is the thing. Now, where did this debut on, or where did you watch it on?
Well, it's on digital now.
Okay.
I also watched it on Donut Scary Movie Night.
Okay.
So shout out to Donut and the Sprinkles. But no, it actually had it went to the theater for 2 weeks, like all movies now. Yeah.
Okay.
Like all movies. They go to the theater for a week or two, like Mad Max, and then now it's on, like Mad Max is on.
They pulled Mad Max out of the theater.
Yeah,
they pulled it.
Yeah. Furiosa's on streaming. Like what, last week?
Yeah, because it was costing them more money to leave it in there. They're like, nah, get the shit out of here. So yeah, it's on streaming now. So yeah, crazy shit. But,
yeah. So this is on digital now. And yeah, I got a chance to check it out. It's very interesting. This is a slasher movie, all shot from the killer's perspective.
Huh.
It's all It's
This sounds like your type of movie, like.
Okay.
Well, maybe jumping the gun. Okay.
I did enjoy it for the most part, but that sort of POV view, those POV shots, they got old real quick. After about the first half hour, I'm like, okay, this is getting the gimmick is worn out. You know what I'm saying? What's that movie? Hardcore Henry?
Oh, it was like that the whole time?
It was like that. And that got
old. Okay.
Yeah.
See, when you said POV, I didn't actually know you meant POV. You actually meant POV.
POV, okay. Yes.
Wow.
It does deviate a couple times where it cuts to a couple of scenes of, the campfire and the teens talking around the campfire. There are some cutaway, normal movie scenes, but for the most part, it is this killer just walking through the woods. Kind of like it was kind of like watching somebody play the Friday the 13th game.
Okay.
When somebody's playing Jason,
right,
and you're just watching him walk through the woods. And to tell you the truth, there's no musical score. There's no soundtrack. It's just him walking, the sounds of nature, the leaves crunching under his feet. It was actually very relaxing. It was like an ASMR video.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like one of those like nature sounds you play when you go to sleep.
Yeah, the relaxation videos.
The Babbling Brook. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually started to doze at some. like this movie's like making me all relaxing and
this should
chill
be a
and
peaceful horror movie.
Tingling. I'm getting the tingles and shit. So yeah, but the gore is solid. There's some decent gore scenes. And there is a kill in this movie that is so over the top and hilarious, and just it basically makes the movie worth it. It's like a Mortal Kombat fatality. It's just he he has a hook and chain, so it's like it is like Scorpion, where he hooks her and he just basically rips her apart.
Here.
Yeah, and pulls her head through her torso. It's just so just so over the top and hilarious. So that kill alone makes the movie. I did find the ending a little lackluster. I was hoping for the final girl would throw down with the killer in the end. Because I thought, okay, that would be interesting, especially from the POV perspective. Him, doing battle with the final girl and shit. But they didn't really have that. It kind of ends abruptly, and I was like, what? That's it? Oh well. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, but I felt it did get slow at times. Those scenes of watching him walk did get old after a while. But I did like the idea. This killer he's like a Jason Voorhees. He's resurrected. Somebody takes like a necklace that his mom, I think it was his mom's or something. Anyway, this killer was like wronged. He was like a disabled kid, and the town played a trick on him, and he fell out of this fire lookout tower, and then his vengeful spirit comes back, and he goes on a rampage in the woods.
Wait, did Jake see this? Is that what you're talking about?
Did Jake? Oh yeah, that's him. Yeah, the yoga kill. Yeah, the chick doing yoga on the cliff. Yeah, that kill. Did you see it, Jake? That was gnarly. That was pretty brutal.
Okay.
That was metal as fuck.
That's the Eli stamp of approval. Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, it was like more like fatality. Like it's literally like a Mortal Kombat kill, like a fatality on Mortal Kombat, and like watching somebody play Friday the 13th or Dead by Daylight,
Nice.
So, but yeah, I mean, I like the idea. I like the storyline, like the plot of his origin, like this killer's origin story and all that. And he's pretty cool. His mask is pretty cool. His weapon of choice, that hook with the chain, pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I liked all this. I liked all of that. It's just, it got a little old with the whole POV thing. And that's the thing, is like, this isn't the first time that the POV of the killer's been done. The Maniac remake from like 2012 with Elijah Woods, that was shot from the killer's perspective.
Okay.
And that got old too. Of course, the original Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween, the intro, that beginning of Halloween.
That was awesome. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love that intro, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Especially since you didn't know what was going on at first. You're just like, what the hell? Because you didn't know.
Yeah. And then it turns out he was a little kid and all that.
Right.
Elements of what was that Behind the Mask, the Leslie Vernon doc, that kind of did that too. So that POV has been done before, So was he saying, Frank, Quiet Place 1 was underwhelming for me. The stress levels that this series is known for fell short. The new one, Frankie. Yeah, I haven't seen the new one yet.
I've never seen any of them.
Oh, I think they're just okay. I thought the first one was pretty cool, and the second one was just was all right, was fine.
Spoiler for me, is it aliens or some shit?
Yeah, they're aliens, and they have really good hearing, so you can't make a sound, or they'll get.
Oh, so it's the exact opposite of Bird Box.
I never saw Bird Box.
What? You never saw Bird Box?
No.
Damn. Okay.
Is that you can't look or something? Is that where they're blindfolded or something?
Bullets, yeah.
Okay. No, I never saw that.
Damn. It was like in the middle of the pandemic. We had nothing to do.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed out.
Oh well.
I was probably reading the Dune books.
We probably were. Okay. All right. I'll let you slide on that. Because that's the time when they started calling Sandra Bullock the Bird Box lady. I'm like, she did
I
more
remember-
shit than Bird Box. But
I remember the memes and the talk.
Yeah.
like the Tiger King. I never watched that either.
I never saw that either. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just like that blew past me. So you
Yes,
make a
the
list of
opposite
top
of
10 pandemic shows.
yeah, that
The
I
opposite
missed.
of Bird Box. Okay, that's why I was like, oh, it's like Bird Box. Okay, now I don't need to that. So
Yeah. So yeah, so in a violent nature, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. I mean, I was gonna give it a 3 because it is a slow burn, but I do like the idea and I do kind of want to watch it again.
interesting.
I mean,
Okay,
and the kill, like I said, the kill is one of the most outrageous kills ever. I think, ever since Terrifier 2, motherfuckers are trying to like one up each other now. On
that's
kills.
the standard. Okay.
Yeah. So the yoga kill that Jake was talking about is worth the price of admission. It is just so over the top and just gory and just hilarious. I was like, damn, and just kept going. Like, so yeah, 3.5 out of 5.
Interesting. Okay, because I heard it was on Shudder when I googled it real quick. But I think Shudder got bought out by somebody, but I don't know. Like it's on another streaming platform.
I think it's going to end up on Shudder. I think right now it's just on digital for like renting, like on Prime or Vudu or whatever.
Right. But like somebody owns Shudder. Like Shudder is like, you know how Hulu's with Disney Plus now? Like somebody has Shudder, but I don't know who.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep like getting rid of Shudder, and then I get it again, and then I get rid of it, and then I get it again. And who knows? Maybe I'll get it again if this drops on Shudder. It's only $5 a month.
Like streaming, Frankie.
Yeah. You can rent it.
VOD,
Yeah, you can rent it on Apple or Prime, Vudu, all that shit.
Oh, okay. He's with us now. He's with us. My fault. I didn't click the last one, Frankie. You with us now. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we can move on to the next part of podcast.
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's the thing. Like I said, we're going to talk about Star Wars. Now, like I said, over the years of doing this podcast, we have learned how to navigate Star Wars discussions. So how we do it is that we let Eli set the tone. He gives his opinion up front, out the door first. That way I know how to navigate it from there. So I know whether or not to to agree with them or just be ready to attack me with everything you have. So I know from now.
This is it's a touchy situation.
It's a very sensitive subject. We can talk about anything on here, presidency, whatever, Star Wars. That's very sensitive topic. So yeah. All right. So go ahead, Eli. I will let you start off and you tell me what you thought about episode 5 of The Acolytes.
Okay. Well, that being said, since you said all that, after last week, I was like, I didn't really give a shit about this show anymore. And I said, I'll catch the episodes whenever, So I knew it was on. I knew the episode dropped, and I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna watch The Ultimate Fighter. But then I jump on Facebook and I see Leroy. Episode 5 of Acolyte was the shit.
And notice I never said that about any other episode.
Right. Or whatever. You just the Acolyte, new Acolyte was fire. I was like, oh no shit. Is it cool? So out of Leroy's suggestion.
You're gonna throw it back on me. Okay.
Well, I'll just let you know that I trust your judgment.
Okay.
So I threw it on. Out of Leroy, Leroy's advice, I threw it on. And it was fucking pretty cool. Okay,
all right. Okay, we're on the same page. We passed this week then. Okay, next week I don't know what's gonna happen, but okay.
Yeah.
So far, so good. Okay.
It's all downhill from here, but I'm sure. but this week was dope.
Okay.
It gave me my lightsaber porn, my lightsaber kink.
and that's all I wanted. Look. Here's the thing. We're at episode 5 right now. Just be brutally honest. I don't care about any of the characters. I don't care about the story. The lore is getting to the point where it's damaging the franchise at this point. What they're doing. But they're doing the one thing that I want them to do that honestly no other Disney show has gave me so far from Star Wars, and that's cool lightsaber fights. At least if nothing else, do that. Give me that bare minimum. You do that, I'll give you a pass grade. So just give me was it complete lightsaber porn all through the show? Yes, it was, and it was glorious. I loved it.
Yeah, it was like a half-hour lightsaber duel.
It was just a half-hour lightsaber duel. That's it. Just give me that. I'm so sick of YouTubers, beating Disney at lightsaber fights.
Yeah,
that should not be where the best lightsaber fights are. Some asshole in his backyard, doing lightsaber fights. So now when you give me shit like this when a motherfucker headbutts lightsabers, yes, I'm like, yes. I don't know what it means. I don't know why he's doing it. I don't care. Just give it to me.
And we were seeing shit we never seen before, like when he stuck the one guy and then he force pulled the other guy and impaled them both. I was like, oh.
I was like, that shit was cool. That shit was cool. Then chop the hands up afterward, like, you made a Jedi kebab or some shit.
Yeah, that was the shit. I was like, okay, y'all. If there's anything this show is going to be remembered for, they better give that credit for showing that.
Like I said, no matter what you think about this show, you got to give credit. Now, here's the thing, Eli. Like I said, you got these right-wing YouTubers out here that have been hating on this show as hard. And even they have to give it up for this show. Even they are saying, well, this was the least worst episode.
Hey.
That's the best they give it.
Hey, when it comes down to it, top 5 episodes of Star Wars shows ever? Maybe top 3?
I'm saying top 3. Okay. What we got? Okay. Mandalorian season 2 last episode.
Finale.
Best episode so far. What you get after that? Number 2.
I mean, Disney Star Wars. I mean, well, you don't want to ask me because I'll go into the Clone Wars and shit. But
okay.
But like shit with like, but I mean, I loved Andor. But I like the episode with Bill Burr. Those Bill Burr episodes on Mando are some of my favorites.
You're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me for this. With my second favorite, Book of Boba Fett, the last episode.
That was all right.
It was just nonstop action, man.
I'll say top. That would be number 5. I would say.
Okay, I'm just saying it was just nonstop action, just shit, and it was just shit just happened all over the place. He wrote a fucking Rancor, man. Come on.
He wrote a Rancor. Finally, yes, that was that's what the show finally gave us. But then Baby Yoda put it to sleep. So
yeah.
But no, I'm saying, like, this was like one of the coolest things I've seen from any Star Wars show on Disney ever.
Right. Like they brought it. Like this is what we have been expecting. Like,
and that's what they're good at. They should be good at giving us the lightsaber kink.
Like, if nothing else, just get this right.
You're right. I don't give a shit about anything. Yeah, everybody fucking died, and I don't care. But
right, and that's the thing. Like, we should be upset about this, but I don't give a fuck about any of these people. I kind of gave a little fuck about X-23. A little bit.
Yeah, I didn't expect her to go. I didn't expect her to go.
When she went, I was like, it was like, oh shit, she gone. But the way she went out, like, damn, he fucked her up.
He fucked her up 3. Like, he stuck her 3 times. The old 1, 2, 3.
I mean, that might be like the first time somebody in a Disney Star Wars show died from a lightsaber. Because everybody else just gets up from that shit,
Who's this? If you start Plan B, does it still work? I can't read it.
I don't know. That may be a personal question. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. We don't know. But even when he snapped his neck, he didn't even. He broke his arm first.
Yeah.
And then snapped his neck. I was like, damn, Yor caught it. Oh well, fuck him.
Never
liked him anyway. So shit.
Yeah. And you were right. I mean, well, yeah, you were right. It was the one guy. What's his name?
That's what I will say. Eli, you're spoiled for me because I was just about to bring it home. I was gonna be like, what was it? Yeah. The guy that like, this is the greatest reveal in Star Wars history.
Yeah, Darth Gimp. Yeah.
Right, Darth Gimp. Who is Darth Gimp? And who was it finally realized as? Boom, that guy. Really?
And that's the thing. It's like,
and the only reason I didn't think it was him, even though it was so obvious, I was like, because look, this is him from The Good Place. He's a skinny motherfucker on that show. So I was like, okay, it can't be Jason from The Good Place. He's too skinny on that show. But he went from The Good Place to the dark side. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? Like the dark side, you become a Sith, you get a gym membership? I'm like, So like that is that how you sign up? Yeah, sign me up. Shit. So yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
no, I was loving it. And honestly, his performance was great. Like, okay, we talking about best episode of the Disney shows, best villain of the Disney era. He's up there. And just in just one episode. I'm gonna give Darth Gideon, because I love him. Darth Gideon.
Oh yeah, Gideon's cool.
He may be my second.
Yeah.
So just what they've done so far.
What's her face from Andor? That's the thing. I love Andor.
Okay. Kylo, but no.
Yeah,
Kylo Ren technically a villain also, but yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like when it was obviously they were like the show was setting him up, like giving hints that it's probably him. But I thought it was like everyone, we all thought it was a misdirect. Like, it's not. It's so obviously him, so it's not going to be him. That's what we were all thinking.
But the thing they threw it up, they kind of almost admitted in that episode, like last episode, they were like, the master can't get here because we're so far out in this planet and no one knows how to get to this planet that nobody else can get here. So it kind of can't be anybody else but him. Yeah. Because they had to get a guy, had to travel and all this bullshit like that. So yeah, it couldn't be anybody else but him because he's on the planet. So yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I had fun. I and yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, like I said, I'm sure it's all downhill from here. But and as far as the lore, yeah, you're right. The lore, like I don't care. At this point, I mean, Star Wars has lost all meaning over the years. Like, I don't.
Here's my thing. I've learned to separate Disney from the other Star Wars. Like that Star Wars, that's my Star Wars. So no matter what Disney does not fuck with my canon of that story. That's just, I don't care what they do.
Yeah, I'm an OG trilogy guy. That was my shit, and I've ever since then I've been enjoying it as it comes along, and I don't get it bent out of shape, So yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, I can understand how people would get angry over fucking up the lore, fucking up the canon, because
they are doing some major canon breaking shit, and we still have 3 episodes left. So there's no telling what they might do going forward.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is they're not supposed to know about the Sith. They're not supposed. These Jedi either gotta die or he's not a Sith. He's a Knights of Ren or whatever the fuck. Again, that would track because these Disney shows are always fixing what the Disney prequels have done. Making those matter. Obi-Wan and Bad Batch making the Rise of Skywalker matter with the cloning and. We haven't really seen shit from the Knights of Ren on anything except like in the comics. I've read some comics where they showed up, but we haven't really seen them. So, or that what's his name, Soul? Either he dies or he leaves the Jedi Order. But they can't. Yeah.
Or he's a Sith. I mean, that may be it. He may be Darth Souls, which like that, and that's why. And he may have kicked that dude out. And that may be why he killed him. I don't know. I'm just throwing.
And see but they were saying that about Ki-Adi Mundi last week. He can't know because he's the one who said they were extinct back in Phantom Menace. So maybe he was a double agent, or he was a Sith all along, or some shit. And that's just stupid, but yeah, I mean, but at this point, I'm like, whatever. I mean, like I said, the value of Star Wars has kind of diminished over the years, and people don't like this new generation doesn't love it as much as we do because that's all I see. Like when I do get online and I do read the stupid comments, these Star Wars fans getting all bent out of shape over the dumbest shit. It's like, yeah, because they give a fuck. Because they like this shit, because they're called. It's called fans,
It's called fans, but you have people that actually like this stuff that's working on it,
Yeah, So, yeah. I mean, if you don't, just by you saying that, obviously means you don't give a shit. So, but yeah, I'm like, yeah, I just kind of riding the high of this last episode as much as I can.
Ride it good, Eli. Ride it good, because we don't know what's gonna happen.
Just smoking that bowl as long as I can, as long as it lasts.
Okay, Doom Slayer, thanks for edging to us.
Sweet, yeah. We should.
I take it as high praise. I take it as high praise.
Hey, man, we better start charging for this shit, yo. We can't give this.
Oh, glad you said that. We have subscriptions. I'm sorry. I'm not going where you think I'm going with that. Okay. So we have subscriptions on Facebook now. I just activated last week. However, I'm letting you know up front, we don't have any new material on our subscription service that we don't have for free right now. So don't think you're going to go there and you're going to see some shit that you're not seeing right now. Where's the Eli feet pics? None of that shit. Deadpool entering Star Wars universe would be believable. Honestly, if Deadpool jumps to Star Wars, I wouldn't care. That's whatever.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want to. He's Buck Bunny with guns at this point, so he can do whatever he wants to do. So yeah.
Well, what's her face? Like Sabine on that, she was kind of doing that shit. She had the gun and the lightsaber, sort of like Deadpool.
Yeah, basically sign up for Eli's OnlyFans. Yeah, that'll be on the subscription. Okay.
I'll do it. I will do it.
Whip it out.
It's a hard world, man. It's, you know how the tough times are.
Right.
In this economy,
goes the way we think it's gonna go. So yeah.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta.
All right. So, like I said, we enjoy episode 5. Now, episode 6.
Who knows?
Who knows?
But as much as people been bitching about the show, we got to at least give it some credit for this episode.
Right, because nobody else is giving it credit, that's how you know it's a grip. Because they're not allowed to say anything positive about the show. It has to be the worst thing ever. When we both said on the show that it's just mid. That's all.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing ever. It's not, I need to pluck my eyes out and like that. It's just whatever.
Yeah.
This is the first episode. I'm like, oh, okay. This is the reason why you're making the show, obviously. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, yeah, it's perfectly fine. I don't think it's the travesty that the internet's making it out to be.
Right.
And there are a couple of things that I find interesting about, the Jedi actually being assholes and all that. I mean, that thing is it's doing just enough to keep me interested. And then this last episode, blew it out the park. So yeah.
That's a good question. And Frankie's asking us, do we recommend it? Here's my thing, Frankie. I'm not gonna make a full recommendation until the season is over with. Because as of right now, the show to me is so up and down, like is what the fuck to man, that's awesome. So I'm like, I gotta wait for it to end before I can make a full recommendation on this show. That's just
yeah, it's okay. If you're not into Star Wars, this isn't gonna make you a fan.
Right.
I'll put it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they keep trying to go for this new audience that I don't think they're nailing that. In today's time, you're gonna be good or bad or no in between. And here's the thing, Jake. That's one of the issues I'm having with this Disney Star Wars, that they having so much gray area with the Jedi that I never really agreed with. I never give a fuck about gray Jedi, but they keep trying to make it a thing. So, like I said, I disagree with Star Wars fans on that. That's just me. And you know what? That's the main thing about Star Wars fans, that we always right. I thought that was fucked up what he said also, but anyway. And that's the thing about Star Wars fans, that we're so divided that we all want something different from Star Wars. Like, I don't think we can agree on what we want. Some people want these awesome lightsabers and they're good. Some people say, oh, it's too much lightsaber porn. Give me better story. Give me better acting. Give me better characters. Give me more Skywalker. Give me more Darth Vader. Give me new characters.
Yeah, and for me, Star Wars has always been about the space battles. Like, like I said, I'm coming from the OG movie, A New Hope back in 77. That was all spaceships,
Right.
I wanted to fly the X-Wing. I wanted to fly the Millennium Falcon. That's like the route for me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it wasn't until The Phantom Menace where I'm like, holy shit, lightsabers are fucking dope.
And then you got Jake. Star Wars is just Baby Yoda.
And then you got this generation who just loves Baby Yoda, the Mando, that, you know what I mean? Or Ahsoka. Right. I mean, but that is true. I mean, he could be joking or not or trolling us, but that is the thing. That's true. Like, these kids these days, they don't give a shit about Luke,
Right. So I mean, like, once we thank you. So like, once we get on, like, Star Wars fans, once we get on the same page, I think we can find a way to move forward. Because we're so divided, we're so fractured, we're so split. It's kind of almost impossible. Like, we can blame Kathleen Kennedy for everything because she can't give us everything. Nobody can.
And
George couldn't do that.
Did you see the Red Letter Media review?
Ooh, that hour long about the Acolyte?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I didn't know if you watched it or not, but yeah, it was It was, yeah.
But I think they hit the nail on the head. Like Kathleen Kennedy
They really did. Yeah.
is a business. I mean, she's run it like a business. And what are the kids into these days? The shit you're seeing on the Acolyte.
The shit you're seeing act like, or at least that's what they think it is. And honestly,
Yeah.
we're not gonna go down that road
Yeah.
because Red Letter Media was see there you go promote another YouTube channel.
Oh, sorry.
But
Sorry.
it was awesome. I watched the whole thing on there, and they said some shit like, "Ooh, damn, they hit the nail on the head there." So yeah, and they didn't take sides, no right wing, no left wing. They just told it how it is, and basically they kind of broke it down like both sides are fucked up.
Yeah, yeah.
Both sides are grifting, both sides are pandering, but whatever.
And those guys are Star Trek fans. That's what's the beauty thing about like they're not really into they lean more towards Star Trek. So they always critique Star Wars through a Star Trek lens.
They'll do 2-3 hours Star Trek episode reviews. Like,
I always skip them, but yeah.
I always skip them, but they do them, Yeah. But here's the thing: I want to blame Red Letter Media for something. Okay. All this right wing. Well, I'm not even gonna say right. I'm not even gonna go there. All this angry YouTube reviews where they get clicks, you just say angry shit like that. I think they invented it.
Yeah, the old because they did the old the prequels.
The prequels, and they did like long just shit on the prequels for like 6 hours or some shit. So I think that invented, we could just shit on movies and let's just do that. Let's just be angry about movies all day like that. Because before that, you didn't really see that on the internet. Everybody was either like high praise, Marvel is the greatest thing. Let's just jerk off to Marvel, or they were impartial, But after them, Red Letter Media, now everybody just shit on everything. Like let's just shit on everything and just get views.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
even admitted like they probably invented that shit.
Yeah. I've seen that in their videos too.
Yeah, like they're part of the problem, but
yeah. But they're also they're non-biased. That's the beauty thing about them is that they're non-biased, and I think the grifters and the the neocons think they're on their side when.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't want to blame Kathleen Kennedy again, but let's just say Star Wars and Disney in general. That they may be going after the audience that doesn't exist. Like, the Acolyte, they're obviously going after a certain crowd with the Acolyte. Who is that crowd?
Yeah,
it ain't us.
Like, no, it ain't the old
like
school.
we didn't say, man, I wish they had a show like this. Like, no, the crowd they're going for, they're trying to cater to that crowd. That crowd doesn't exist, and that's why they're suffering.
Yeah,
let's stop because now we're about to.
Yeah,
we're about to
and that's the thing with Book of Boba Fett. Like that should have been for the old school fans, but they fucked that up, but then they gave us Andor, so they have the capacity to do. Let's stop.
That's what I'm saying. We're going. This is why, Eli.
Yeah, you're right.
Remember the good old days when Cisco and Ebert told you movies were.
Yeah, they were out of touch.
They were out of touch. Yeah. You know what? I stopped watching Cisco and Ebert when they gave Friday 2 thumbs down. I like these dudes know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay.
Well, they didn't like any of the horror movies that I grew up on.
Right.
Like they hated all the horror movies.
Because it was real cinema.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like it's funny going back to YouTube and watching them review like all the Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah. Or even when they started doing like superhero movies, like right before superhero movies started kicking in, they were like, yeah, this is a fun movie, but I hope this doesn't take over Hollywood. I hope Hollywood doesn't think this is the only type of movies to make. They said that shit like back in the 80s, and then Hollywood did not listen to anything they said. Yeah. What do we got?
Oh, damn.
Okay.
Jake just might be banned, yo.
Blocked and reported. Both. So,
Jake, you broke our hearts.
Right. All right.
Godfather 2, Michael Corleone kissing Fredo. You broke I knew it was you. You broke my.
All right. Let me say, I threw in a Hail Mary. I threw in an audible, Eli. Can we talk about another topic in between topics?
Sure.
Okay. Since negative reviews are all over the place, talk about something negative. The Superman photo leaks.
Superman photo. Oh, okay. Yeah. There's negative. Okay. All right. Well, let's hear what you think, Leroy. I want to know what Leroy thinks, because Leroy's, when it comes to Superman, the only opinion that matters is Leroy's.
Okay, so let's start about it. We're gonna talk about because there was some leaks that happened, and boom, this is some leaks of the photo that came out. So they got them on set what they look like. And honestly, Eli, that suit looks like shit. That's no way to sugarcoat it. It just does. Why does it look so bulky? Why does it look wrinkly? Like it's Superman. What the fuck?
Why is the dude helping him stand up?
Right. I'm pretty sure he's not in the movie, but yeah, not that guy.
I thought he's Superman. Can he stand up?
Like Superman is tired. What the fuck? And my thing is like this. I'm like, what? I was like looking at that suit. Like, what does this remind me of? It's like if the MCU made a Superman suit. That's what it looks like an MCU Superman suit. And then I did some digging on who made this suit, and it was the same designer from Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like, that makes sense. Okay.
Well, now, I mean, James Gunn, you know.
Mm-hmm. Now I get all the references, the inspiration. I see the new 52 collar. I see all those Jim Lee lines and shit. I see the Kingdom Come emblem. You know, I see he's supposed to be wide and stocky and bulky like All-Star Superman. So I get all that. I see all that. It just doesn't look right. But I will say this. Some scenes, Eli, because they got a bunch of photos on scene. Some scenes I actually kind of like from a distance, don't look bad. He's got the yellow emblem on the back. That's backs now. So I'm like, that look bad. I can, if you squint, it looks okay. So
don't wear your glasses, basically.
Don't wear your glasses. That's it.
Don't watch it in 4K.
Right. But here's the thing that pissed me off, Eli. People are saying, that looks like the CW. That looks like a CW suit. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Because the CW has a Superman.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
And honestly, that suit looks better than what shit James Gunn just did. You know, and
that show, Lois and Superman, or Superman and Lois, that show is pretty fucking cool.
Not even that. Let's go back to Crisis Infinite Earth when they actually did a Kingdom Come Superman and had Brandon Routh came back. That suit still looks better than what the shit James Gunn just did. So don't give me that. They've had better suits than that. So don't put the CW in this shit. They see that they piss me off when they talk about bringing CW in it. But yeah, so leave the CW alone. That's okay. But honestly, if I squint, I could get past Superman's suit, Eli. That's not what really messed me up. What really messed me up was Clark Kent.
Oh,
what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
What's
that? God, what's Big Fun? What is that fucking band called? Whoa, whoa! They sang that song from like I don't know, when my kid was little. He liked it.
I like you got him from what era, but yeah.
Yeah, it was like 2000, early 2010s.
But fucking hates too bad. Okay, Frankie, you're blocked also and reported. So both of y'all are no soup for either one of you. So yeah.
You're voted off the island, both y'all.
Right. You are the weakest link.
Yeah.
Back to that. But y'all like, what the fuck was this Clark Kent shit, man? Like, okay, but here's the thing, because in my mind, Eli, I'm trying to rationalize. I'm trying to rationalize everything I'm seeing. Because okay, there was no way you would think that guy is this guy. I mean, let's be honest. So that's one thing they're trying to do there, I guess. So I don't know. But that being said, okay, but let's talk about something else that they not only revealed Superman, they revealed a bunch of other people also, revealed the engineer, stuff like that. But another one, like one of my fan favorites, that the reason that I'm going to see this movie is, and I hope they do him right, is Mr. Terrific. So
okay,
hopefully they do Mr. Terrific right. Like I said, he's gonna be in the movie. I don't know if you recognize the actor Eli. He's the same guy that played Darwin in the X-Men movies. You know, the mutant, that mutant power was can't be killed. Yeah.
Okay.
They got killed.
Yeah. And talking about First Class?
First Class, yeah, that.
Yeah.
So hopefully James Gunn is introducing him into bigger things. Like I said, in the DC comics, Mr. Terrific is a big deal. He had his own team. Not only was he on Justice Society, he had his own team. The Terrifics was kind of like DC's version of the Fantastic Four. And the way that book, and it was written by this Geeks and Comics, you know, their god, Jeff Lemire. You know, they worshipped him on every episode they had. Shout out to that show. So hopefully this leads into that. Terrific. Because here's the thing, Eli, if they do some bullshit and he becomes the black dude that dies in every movie, and he dies in this movie, fuck this whole movie. You're going to hear me, if they kill Mr. Terrific, you're going to hear me rant for 2 hours on this podcast about this movie. Fuck this movie. I'm gonna be worse than those guys on the other side when they took it. This DC Comics, you gonna wish I was this DC Comics.
Leroy Letter Media.
Right. So they better hope they don't do that shit. So yeah, all right. So can we move on to the next part of the podcast?
Sure.
Okay.
So yeah, well, James Gunn is a part. Yeah, well, basically what I was saying is James Gunn is doing this.
Mhm.
You know, everyone. You know, the nerds were like, which is better, MCU or the DCU? Now they're the same. Now.
Right. It didn't make a difference now. Like, let's just turn the DCU into the MCU. Like, that's not what I wanted. But whatever. Go with what sells. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next part of the podcast. We're gonna talk to the Vidja game section. Now, Eli, I let you down because I was supposed to have some footage for you this week.
Oh.
But I got lazy and didn't record it. So, but I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna let you talk because you play the game. Okay.
Yeah, I played it.
Let's throw some footage up. So yeah.
Yeah, what's that footage? It's just pics because I'm on the Switch. I downloaded this for free on Nintendo Switch. This is Star Wars Hunters. And I guess the Switch doesn't let you upload to Twitch, I guess. No. I didn't know how to like record footage or record shit on the Switch.
Okay, so the thing is, I think the Switch will let you record. And if anybody in the chat has an answer for that, feel free to comment right now. Let us know because I'm not on the Switch like that. But I think you can record footage. But no, it doesn't have any streaming device on there. It doesn't have Twitch. Doesn't have YouTube. Doesn't have anything like that. So
yeah.
It's a pain in the ass to do it because the reason is because Nintendo doesn't really like people to upload their shit anyway. Matter of fact, honestly, Eli, I think if you try to upload like a actual official Nintendo game like Mario Kart or Zelda, Nintendo will come after your ass.
Oh,
so that's why you never see me. That's why I haven't bought a Switch or anything like that because I don't want them coming after me. I got enough strikes as it is, so I don't need more. So.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Are you guys playing? I'm gonna pick up Star Wars Outlaws. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, the thing, see, and don't think I'm one of those guys bitching about the game. No, I just don't have time to dedicate to like gaming like that, like I used to. Mm-hmm. So, like, I never played the Jedi out. Like, I tried playing the Jedi Outcast or whatever. What's that? The game with the Jedi with the redhead kid. You know?
Damn. If you said it just a second ago, I would have told you what it was.
Yeah, but anyways, I tried playing that for like a couple days, and all I was doing was monkey barring across cliffs and shit. I'm like, so I got
part one or part two?
The first game.
Okay, have you played part two yet?
No.
Me neither. I'm gonna get around to it. I'm gonna get around to it eventually.
Yeah. But anyway, so this was for free on the Switch. Download it for free. The free version, although it limits what you can play. I can't play as like the Mandalorians or the guy with the lightsaber or any of that shit. And dude, they make a series based on pod racing. I've been saying that. Well, they have the pod racer game.
They have, but that's like Nintendo 64.
The 64, yeah.
Yeah, that's like way back in the day, but yeah.
But so anyways, Star Wars Hunters, it's basically like a team shooter game. Kind of like Call of Duty, kind of like Gears of War or
Overwatch and stuff
Overwatch,
like that.
Fortnite, you're on a team, you're on a squad, you got to take out the other team. You get to choose your different characters. Of course, you level up, you get XP points and get your perks and all that shit. Each hunter has a different ability.
I just thought about something. Okay,
yeah.
So you just said it's a shooter, Star Wars shooter.
Mm-hmm.
So how is this different from Battlefront?
It's team matches. It's team. These matches, they're only like 5 minutes long. That's why I've been playing it so much because they're really short. You go through a match in 5 minutes. You start the next one. You're not waiting. Yeah, you don't have these long, drawn out battles and shit where you're getting your ass kicked for a half hour. And then
so what is like 5v5?
It's 4-on-4, I think.
Oh.
And yeah, I've been having fun with it. It's pretty enjoyable. It's like I said, it's very quick paced. The matches are pretty short. And yeah, it's just a breezy little game. I mean, I haven't paid for the full version, so I haven't gotten any of the extra characters. And I don't know if I will. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty simple. I don't see myself. I don't think it's going to be the next Call of Duty or anything.
Or Halo or some shit. Or
yeah, but it's that simple. Just you jump in, you shoot the other team in. You either got the command and conquer, or what is the capture the flag, or the death match. There's different modes, like matches. But yeah, I mean, and then you upgrade your characters and shit. So yeah, I mean, I've been having fun with it. For the past few days. Yeah, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. I mean, I've been playing with the Wookiee, and your standard bounty hunter, like your first basic character is like a bounty hunter with a rifle and rocket launcher. Your standard
Mandalorian, or just
just a bounty hunter.
Okay.
But yeah, you got like a gun and some grenades and rockets. It's your standard shooter weapons and shit. But then you can unlock other characters that have lightsabers and force abilities. I've been using the Wookiee, which is a lot of fun. He's like a tank. He just bum rushes everybody, and he's just slow. But there's a character that I haven't unlocked yet. I don't know if I gotta buy it, but it's like 2 Jawas stacked on top of each other in a trench coat. Like there's 2, and they got all these crazy ass weapons. So I would like to play with that character, but other than that, no. I've been digging on it. Like I said, I was up to like 4 a.m. the other night just playing that game, and I haven't done that in years. I haven't played a game all night like that in, I don't know, like a shooter. I'm talking about like a shooter, online gaming like that. I haven't done
Honestly,
that.
I haven't played a shooter in a long time. I just don't do shooters. What's funny about it? Like anytime I tell people, I play video games, or I got this system like that, like they always name it trying to get me on some shooter, Destiny and all that. I don't play any of that shit, man. I don't care. I don't give a fuck about Call of Duty Zombies, man. I don't. Just look boring as fuck. But that's all anybody plays. So they're like, well, what the fuck do you play then if you don't play Call of Duty? They looking at me like
Madden. You play Madden?
You don't play Madden or Call of Duty? They looking at me like like I cursed them out or something like that. Like, no, man, I don't. Just
it's like those aren't the only games that exist,
Yeah, like there's other stuff you can play, man. It's cool. But guess what I haven't played? Okay, just like you've been on that, I've been playing, and like I said, I've been Twitch streaming this for the last week. What the name of this game? Midnight Suns.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna just I'm gonna have some footage loaded up for you next week. But has Fat T played anything? Told you about it?
I haven't heard anything about it. No.
Here's the thing. It's a card game.
It's
a card game. Yes. It's
so like
weird. Yeah.
Like Magic the Gathering type of shit, or what?
Kinda. Yeah. Yeah. I've never played Magic the Gathering, but it plays like how I think Magic the Gathering would play.
Yeah, I never played with card. I had the Magic the Gathering app.
Yeah.
But I never played it. I can't. That's too much math for me.
I mean, it's fun, Eli. It's almost addicting when I play.
Okay.
It. Yeah, because it's like they give you a handful of cards, and you gotta play your cards, and sometimes you get a good card, and like then you gotta move people over here and do this stuff like that. And I'm like, man, this shit is fun, man. Here's the thing. The bad part about the game is the other shit they do. Like when you just walking around and doing RPG shit and talking to people. I don't give a fuck about that. Put me back in the card game. So that's what's selling me on the game, right? And then the cussing is pretty awesome too. So yeah. So like I said, I have some footage for you uploaded. Matter of fact, check out the Twitch stream this week. I'm gonna be playing all week on Twitch. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start dropping a link in the page. So yeah, that's all I got. Cool. So all right, move on to the next part of the podcast.
Sure.
All right, like I said, this is Comic Book Bullies. We're talking about comic books, and we're gonna jump into it. And Eli, I'm gonna go first.
Right on, yeah.
We got a bunch of Superman shit we're gonna talk about.
That's right. House of Brainiac has fallen.
Well, you haters in our comment section, thanks for listening, but still. Yeah, so first off, like I said, this is the House of Brainiac, the fall of the House of the Brainiac, all this shit like that. Part 5. Now, some genius at DC decided to drop part 5 and part 6 at the same time in the same week. So Good job on you, whatever asshole did that. So we're going to end up reviewing both of those this week. So we're going to start with part 5. We're going to just jump into it. So let's get into it. And Eli Red also is going to help me out just in case I miss anything.
I did read these, yes.
All right, so let's get into it. So the book starts off with, like I said, the last issue actually had Lobo's whole family of the Zarnians wiped out, killed by one swipe by the Brainiac Queen. And she's feeding off Superman and all the Kryptonians. That's how she's getting powered up. And she felt the Zarnians also. And she's getting even more powerful. But she killed all the Zarnians except one. She didn't kill the main man. She didn't kill Lobo. And Lobo was pissed. She's like, who the fuck told you to kill my family, Brainiac? Nobody kills my family but me. So you're going to answer to me now. Because he was on Brainiac's side until Brainiac just did that bullshit. And Brainiac's just like, man, my wife just killed your whole family, man. What are you going to do? He was like, well, Brainiac, you think you may be smarter than me, but I'm smart enough to do one thing. And bam, free Superman. So now it's Lobo and Superman versus Brainiac and his wife. So they were like, okay, but Superman just got drained because the Brainiac Queen fed on him, so he's still recovering. So he freed all of the other super people, and now Lobo was kind of like apologizing, like, look, man, I didn't mean to stab you in the back. Brainiac screwed me over, which I kind of knew it was happening. I can't beat him on my own, so I need your help, Superman. And matter of fact, if you tell anybody outside of this shit right here, I'm gonna beat your ass. So let's go after him. And Brainiac's like, kill them all, since his people at him. So now, and the Brainiac Queen is just beating the shit out of all of them, but Brainiac is doing other shit because since she's weak because she just killed all the Zarnians, they still have kind of a chance to not get wiped out immediately. So he decided to free Lena Luthor, Lex Luthor's daughter, and decided to plug her into the Brainiac ship. Why is he plugging her into the ship? Because to control all his drones, to control the Brainiac Queen, and to control all the ship is too taxing on him. So he needs somebody else in his place to run all the information through. Now, it may kill her, but that's a chance he's willing to take. So while they're getting the ass beat by the Brainiac Queen, getting shit smacked out of him and shit, and Brainiac, so yeah, they're getting the hell kicked out of him. And Connor, Superboy, just remembers, wait a minute. One of our supervillains that fought like a couple issues ago used my powers in a way that I never used it before. So let me do the same thing. So he does his kinetic energy into the floor, and what he does, he shorts out the Brainiac ship. And since he shorts out the Brainiac ship, he shorts out the Brainiac Queen. So he stops her for a little while. He's like, what the hell did you just do? So yeah, so everything's paused, and she gets short circuit, and she's hurt. And Brainiac is like, no, what did they do to you? And Superman's like, what the hell going on, Brainiac? And then Brainiac is like, you're too stupid to understand what's going on with me. And Superman is like getting a good shot in on him. And he finally realized what Brainiac's whole plan was this entire time, making his whole queen. Is because, yes, Brainiac knows everything in the multiverse, how the universe ends, how the universe begins. But he doesn't have anybody to share that information with. That's why he made his queen. He wants a family. That's Brainiac's whole plan. And Brainiac, shut up. You don't know shit about me, Superman. And slams into the wall and shit like that, And that's when his, the Kaluans, I may be screwing it up, but I'm going to call them Kaluans. The Kaluan, basically from Brainiac's home planet, he was like, Brainiac, what did you do? You were going to stop you, Brainiac. And like, no, you're not going to stop me. And what Brainiac does end up brainwashing them. And Superman realized, okay, I'm not dead yet from that hit that Brainiac just gave me. So my superpowers are slowly starting to come back, And that's when the super twins show up like, super dad, all this shit like that. So, and that's when they decide to basically, let's get the hell off this ship. But they can't leave because they got all these bottle cities still on the ship. And Superman, leave no city behind or people behind. So we got to save everyone. That's the super rule, So, and that's when Lex Luthor and Supergirl shows up. Luthor said, don't worry about this. I got a plan to stop Brainiac once and for all. And Superman is pissed because this whole thing is kind of Lex Luthor's fault. And Supergirl like, hold up, cuz, hear him out. Let him talk. He like, I got a plan. Like, look, I know what Brainiac made me work on the Brainiac Queen, but he didn't understand that when I did that, I made a back door into his network. So he let me in without knowing he let me in. So I'm going to, and he got this cool panel right here where Lex Luthor has on a Brainiac mask. He's like, I'm going to hack into Brainiac's mind and take over from the inside. But Superman knows that if Lex Luthor does that, that could possibly kill him. And Lex Luthor like, so what you going to do, Superman? Stop me from saving my daughter? Or are you going to let me do my job? You're like, man, what do you want? He was like, I want you to keep Brainiac off my ass while I happen to his network. Because the moment I get into his network, he's going to send his drones after to kill me. He's like, fine, we can do that. You're like, I know you can. So Luthor hacks in, and here comes the Brainiac drones and the Brainiac. And Lobo's is like, I want a piece of Brainiac for what he did to my family. So now you got this cool panel right here, Supergirl, Superman, and Lobo. And the other super family are freeing the bottle cities. That's where they are right now. So you just got these three holding the line to save Lex Luthor, give him time to hack into the system. And like Brainiac's like, oh, you're not fighting my army. You're fighting my family. To be continued. So yeah. So yeah, honestly, it was the penultimate episode. It's giving us ready for the finale. Even this episode, if they just gave me this episode, I would have been happy with this. But we got the finale coming up. So yeah. So even this issue, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 because we finally understand what Brainiac's plan is, and I'm satisfied with his plan. I think his plan is evil enough for him to do all this bullshit he's doing.
Are you going? Oh yeah. Are you going to do the next issue now, or are you going to wait?
I'm gonna let you go, then I'm gonna come back and do it.
Oh, okay. So to be continued.
To be continued. Dun, dun,
so slap a score on this.
4 to 5. I'm gonna 4 to 5. So,
yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I will go with Blood Hunt number 4.
Here we go. Okay. The big summer blockbuster.
Yeah. Marvel's big event where Blade has taken over the world. Mm-hmm. And with vampires. Yes. Blade, this issue, they revealed that Blade is being possessed by Varna or whatever, the original vampire in the Marvel universe.
Oh
no, it's I'm pretty sure it was Varna or something.
Okay, and they said that's a thing that's been in the Marvel universe. I've never.
Yeah, I guess he dates back to like even Conan fought this thing. Huh. So, yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Like, yeah, what is it? Yeah, where'd it go? I got the panel right here.
Oh, yeah. You back on the computer. You can load the panels again.
I am Varney. No, I'm on my phone. Sorry.
Oh.
Varney.
Okay.
Varna. Varnae. Varnier.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
Anyways, I guess he's the original vampire in the Marvel universe. Like he turned Dracula and everybody. So anyway, he's the one who's been possessing Blade. So for those who don't know, this Blood Hunt, Blade used the Darkhold spell to darken out the sun and turn Earth into an eternal night, and is taking over the Earth with vampires. He's turned most of the Avengers into vampires. And
kill Doctor Strange.
Kill Doctor Strange. But Doctor Strange is in the astral plane. Like his spirit is still around. He put a spell so Doctor Strange's vampire body doesn't do anything, but he can still, his astral plane self is still running around with what's her name again? What's that chick's name?
Clea.
Yeah. So they're running around doing shit. They go to, in this issue, Latveria, where fucking Dr. Doom is like, yo, this is some magic shit. We need some magic. And Dr. Doom's like, well, I'll help you, but I need one thing. Uh-oh. I need to be the Sorcerer Supreme.
They've been trying to keep him out of that shit for like decades now. He's gonna find a way to become Sorcerer Supreme. So,
yeah, so it's like, that's the only way this is gonna happen. I have to be able to have ultimate power. So I'm sure that's gonna go well. And then we cut to what's their name? Tigra and what's this dude's name again? Hunter's Moon. Hunter's Moon. Yeah, him. Yeah. So they're in Asgard, right? Yeah, they're in Asgard and they're trying to free Moon Knight. Or no, Khonshu. Because I guess
Khonshu in Asgard.
I don't know. I guess this is like they trapped him. I haven't been reading Moon Knight. I guess they trapped him. And was it Jason Aaron's run or something? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But Khonshu's trapped is basically in Asgardian jail. And
Oh.
Tigra and Hunter's Moon go to Asgard to break him out, but they can't. So they get the
That's right.
Wrecker.
Once you tried to take over the world and shit. I remember that now. Black Panther
Yeah.
beat the fuck out of Moon Knight. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So they get the Wrecker and his Asgardian crowbar to break the door open, which I thought was pretty funny.
So did the Wrecker showed up or just his crowbar?
No, he shows up. He
shows up. Okay.
Yeah, there's oh shit,
crew, just him.
Just him with his Asgardian crowbar, and he breaks open the chains and sets Khonshu free. Okay. Meanwhile, back in the Blade's lair, he's basically doing the ritual where he's going to become all powerful and become a vampire god. But then Khonshu shows up with like every Moon Knight ever. with like an army of Moon Knights. He shows up, and then fucking Blade. So T'Challa's a vampire, and he's been like kind of Blade made him like his servant, like his Renfield or something like that. And T'Challa comes at him with a stick, like with a blade, and tries to stick Blade. Mm-hmm. And Blade with his ultimate vampire powers, and you think you're gonna kill me with that little knife? Mm-hmm. I was like, oh no, I wasn't trying to kill you. I was just freeing Thor. So back in like issue 1 or 2, when Thor got stuck in the head with a spike,
right?
and he's been like all chained up. Blade had him all chained up with a spike in his head. So T'Challa took the Blade out, and it turns out the heart-shaped herb has been fighting the vampire virus. So he wasn't totally, and he's just been biding his time. So he wasn't totally a vampire.
Right. That was in that Blood Hunt Black Panther book we read, but yeah.
Yeah. So he took the spike out of Thor's head and freed Thor. So Thor's all free, and he's like, "Aye, my lady," or how Thor talks.
Have it thee.
Yes, come hither, fair maiden. My loins are burning, or whatever, And then the rest of the Avengers show up and like, okay, Blade, it's on, and that's where it says to be continued. So only one more issue. So I'm sure the last issue is going to be just a big fight between Blade and his vampires and the Avengers, who are now free, or the few remaining Avengers left.
Yeah. So Thor didn't have any brain damage, getting stabbed in the head or nothing like that. He just came back. I
guess, man. He just
that looked like they fucked him up pretty good in that issue I read. But okay.
Yeah, I mean, he was all chained up with a spike in his head. Well, he was full of spikes. He was like all impaled. He was all stuck with a bunch of spikes, and he had one in his head. But he's still there. Like when he's free. Like, yeah, that last panel, like Thor is all still full of spikes, but he's got, he's got the lightning coming back, and he's like, all right.
Still in his head, like they left on his head, and he.
No, he's still got him like all in his body and shit, in his arms and shit. Okay. So pretty cool. And I'm sure, of course, this is the regular issue. There is the red band issues, the ones that are R-rated with more violence. I have not been reading those, so I'm sure those panels are more hard, and relish in the gore and shit. But I haven't been reading those issues. But I gotta say, this issue was pretty fun. I mean, this is just a big, dumb, stupid blockbuster. Leave your brain at the door. It's vampires versus the Avengers, whatever. But this was pretty fun. I mean, the Wrecker showing up with his magic crowbar. Like, come on. Dr. Doom as a support sorcerer supreme. I'm like, okay, sure. Like, let's do it.
That's been a storyline. So a lot of the Avengers, like, whatever you do not let Dr. Doom become Sorcerer Supreme. They've been trying to do this stuff for the longest.
So we'll see. One more issue,
Okay.
So I'll give this a 4 out of 5.
Okay, cool. All right. So next book I'm going to do is the finale of the House of Brainiac, the fall of the House of the Brainiac. Yeah. So this is Superman 15. I know we just did Action Comics 1066, and now we're doing Superman 15 because, like I said, somebody wanted to drop both of these in the same week. So I don't know.
I did think that was a little weird too. Yeah.
Like, why are you doing that? I don't know. Give us time to breathe, man. But yeah. Anyway, Superman 15. Let's get to it. The finale. House of Brainiac. Fall of the House of Brainiac. All right. So, like I said, we just left off what happened with that one. and the House of Brainiac ship is blowing up. Reason it's blowing up is because Lex Luthor is hacking into their system, and he's getting in there. And meanwhile, he's protecting it. And meanwhile, you got Superman, Supergirl, and Lobo getting the shit kicked out of them by a bunch of Brainiacs.
That's a fucking dope panel.
That's a dope ass panel. Yeah, just a bunch of they just getting overwhelmed and shit. And basically, while they're fighting, Brainiac is trying to power up the Queen because the Queen got deactivated when they deactivated the ship. So it's only a matter of time before she gets back online. But until then, Brainiac can just kill everybody. And meanwhile, Superman just freezes a bunch of Brainiacs, goes Brainiac Prime. He was like, Brainiac, this shit stops now. And then Brainiac, bam, punches him in the head. And Superman's just like, damn, okay, so my head is still attached to my body. So obviously I'm back at full power. Thanks, Brainiac. Thanks for letting me know. Bam, and see, he visits him in full power. And Brainiac just walks through that shit. Like, I kind of forgot Brainiac was that damn powerful. So, and he just like punches him again and shit. Like, fuck you, Superman. You know. So basically what he's telling him is that when my queen gets back online, she's going to kill everybody in your family anyway. Everybody except you. I'm going to leave you alive on purpose, just strong enough, just weak enough, so she can feed off your ass for the end of eternity. But everybody else in your family going to die. And I'm going to take her back to the earth, and she's going to kill everybody on your planet also. And meanwhile, you can see Lobo and Supergirl getting their ass kicked because there's too many Brainiacs overwhelming them. And she was like looking at the House of Brainiac has won. And then you got the rest of the super family coming in because they were free in the bottle cities. They're like, screw all that. Let's just whoop some Brainiac's ass. So they join in, but even them joining in really doesn't do anything. They get a few hits in, but they still get overwhelmed. So they're fighting a losing battle, basically. So the only thing that can save them, did I screw up? Oh no, great panel. Anyway, and that's the most important panel. Anyway, screw all that. Lex Luthor finally can hack into the system. That's the best panel right there, man. The best panel was Lex Luthor was able to hack into the system, able to find Brainiac's brain, his nervous system, his CPU, and he was thinking like whether or not he wants to, absorb that information for himself or just stop it. But he decided like eventually, now I'm just delete Brainiac's information. So he jumps into the network himself to delete Brainiac's information, even though it probably going to kill him too. So when he does it, now Brainiac is cut off from his hive mind. So the drones fall down. Boom, drones down. His family wake up from their hive mind, so they're no longer possessed anymore like that. So that was just Brainiac just by himself, and Lex Luthor is not dead. He's still moaning and shit like that, but so they out of the system. Meanwhile, it's a countdown until it hits 0 about how long they got before they can get out of it. Because like Brainiac intelligence 58, Brainiac intelligence 43, like this. So it's about to blow up. They're about to get out of here. So like, okay, so Lobo has all the bottle cities. He was able to get them, and he basically smashes them all together. So he solved their problem. Like, yeah, I got all bottle cities. I got them. So like, okay, Superman tells everybody get out, find some escape pods, everybody get out of here and go. I'm gonna take care of Brainiac. And meanwhile, Brainiac is talking to his family, his Kaluan family. He's like, where y'all going? Y'all can't leave me. He like, you can't possess me. And he's like, don't turn your back on me. So right before he's about to smack them, he gets heat vision again by Superman, And Superman's like, Brainiac, what the fuck did you want? Why'd you kidnap my family? Why'd you take everybody? Why'd you do all this? He was like, because I needed more power. And Superman's trying to tell him, because the thing is, the more, since the intelligence and the ship's blowing up, Brainiac is getting dumber. So since he's getting dumber, he's getting more frustrated. He's starting to feel more emotions. And that's what Superman's trying to tell him. Like, the emotions you're feeling is regret. The reason you're feeling regret is because you got all this knowledge, but nobody to share it with. That's why you took the family. That's why you took all these drones. That's why you made this wife, because you know that eventually you're going to die and you want to pass this information on to somebody. And now you realize that you're dying and everything you know is dying with you. You're feeling what every other living person on the universe feels. This is the first time you're feeling this, Brainiac. And Brainiac, so he's finally talking sense to the Brainiac. Superman is finally talking sense to Brainiac. Brainiac's what's going on. He's like, look, man, whatever you do, just save the Kaluans. Just make sure they don't die. And Superman, he like, you sure? He like, yeah, just save them. I don't care what happens to me. So Superman, boom, takes off before the ship blows off. And the whole thing is counting down. Brainiac, 12%. Brainiac, 5%. And you can see the Kaluan city flying away from the Brainiac ship. But how is it flying away? Because Superman saves it.
Dun,
It did
dun,
it
dun,
again.
dun,
Dun, dun, dun, dun. It did it again. Damn it. Fuck this book. Anyway, I'll just tell you what happened. Fuck comic styles anyway like that. Anyway, what's going on right now? Maybe I
Yes,
give
I
it time to
second
load up.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, first comic style. I give it time to load up, something like that. Because basically what's going on with this ship, Superman saved them, but before Brainiac completely blows up in the fire of his Brainiac ship, he sends the Queen Brainiac, who is dormant right now with no power. He sends her out on the ship on her own before it blows up. Kind of like it's reminiscent of like when Jor-El sent Kal-El from Planet Krypton. It's like the same frame where Brainiac sent Queen Brainiac out of the ship before Brainiac blew up. So he's dead. We see Brainiac blows up. He dies. But not before sending Queen Brainiac off like that. He was like, where my story ends, your story begins, my queen. That's how the story goes on. So yeah,
The fucking woke shit. This fucking woke shit.
So now Brainiac is a chick now.
Yeah, what the fuck, this woke trash.
So that's basically what happened. Yeah, so Brainiac is going to be a chick going forward. So we know that. Okay, we got it so loaded up. All right, so what happens? So the aftermath of everything was going on. They're back in Metropolis. Everybody's having. So you had Power Girl and the Steels holding down Metropolis while they was off in space doing space shit, you know. And basically what happened to the bottle cities, the Kaluans were able to regrow the cities, and they put all the cities into a planet of their own and calling it Kolu 2.0. So all those bottle cities are on one planet now. And Lobo's like, this is gonna be chaos, so it's just my type of chaos. So basically,
I'm there.
Right. So I know this is gonna be crazy. So he's talking to Superman. He's like, damn, Superman. So we had this big adventure like that, man. I'm kind of liking this new you because I've never seen you pissed off like this before. People should kidnap your family more often, you know. And he's like, well, anyway, you bastard. I'm out of here. And next time we're gonna have a real fight. And Superman's like, every fight we have is a real fight. Knowing he's bullshitting because he always pulls his punches even with Lobo, you know. And that's when Lois Lane's like, okay, hey, you gonna make out with this dude or you gonna come see your wife? Because I ain't seen you in weeks. So he goes down there with his wife, he kisses and stuff like that. They, you know, hug and stuff like that. And that's when Lena Luthor and Luthor show, they're like, Superman, we gotta talk. And Superman apologized to Luthor, like, look, Luthor, I know you've been lying to me the whole time. I know you had your reasons, so I just want to say apologize. You have my trust. And Luthor is just standing off in the space. He's like, Luthor, you're there? And he's like, Luthor? Who's Lex Luthor? So he fried his brain when he blew up the Brainiac ship. To be continued. But that's not the big thing. So they say, okay, the next issue, Absolute Power #1. But after that, Doomsday is back.
Is that who that was? So I was wondering, is that Doomsday?
That's the panel, because that's a reminiscence of the panel when Doomsday was freeing himself. He was punching through the walls like that. Where is he right now? Where has he been? Who knows? You know. So he's back. So yeah, that's Doomsday. Doomsday's coming back. So yeah. Right. But that's in the fall. That's months from now. We ain't gotta worry about that right now. So
because Absolute Power is coming, man.
Because Absolute Power now. One catastrophe at a time. So yeah. So overall, this was a satisfying conclusion. This may be the death of Brainiac. They've reset Luthor because Luthor, and in the panel, I'm trying to show you that when Luthor reset Brainiac's brain, he was like, I gotta save my daughter and my friends. So when he was saying his friends, he was talking about Superman and his family. So like he really was with them at the time. But now that they reset Luthor's mind, they're probably gonna turn him evil again. So, but it was a cool arc they gave him for a while. So yeah. So no, this was a strong ending to a wibbly wobbly story.
Yeah, I was disappointed in the whole Lobo Superman team up. I was hoping for a little bit more action, you know, from that whole thing. But you know, whatever.
And so, and it kind of wrapped up his family. He found his long family, wrapped it up a little bit too clean. Just kill them off, be done with it. So yeah. But I'm still giving it a 4 out of 5. It was a good, strong, easy breezy arc before we get into bigger, better stuff. So
yeah, it started cool, then got a little muddy in the middle, but then it had a strong ending.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. So yeah. All right. So what else you got?
I got HELLVERINE #2.
HELLVERINE. Let's see what we got. Okay.
So this is Benjamin Percy still. Well, he was writing Wolverine and Ghost Rider, and now he combined them into one.
Right.
This book.
Let's have your peanut butter and jelly. So,
yeah, you know, I thought it was going to be kind of cheesy and dumb, and it is. but it's cool. I've been digging on it. So this is number 2. So Daken, Wolverine's son, he got killed by Sabretooth in the whole Sabretooth war.
Like chopped up and spilled
out. Oh
yeah,
he got fucked up. Yeah, Sabretooth fucked him up. But that demon, that one demon that I can't remember its name. The one that was where the little kid was making those fucked up sculptures out of dismembered body parts to appease that demon. That's the demon that is possessing Daken, the spirit of vengeance. And Daken's back from the grave, going around, doing Ghost Rider shit. And the, what do they call that Department of Fear or whatever? What do they call that organization? Project Hellfire, this government organization that has been working with Hellfire magic, and they've been resurrecting dead soldiers and giving them Hellfire magic and turned them into like a squad of they look like Cenobites from Hellraiser called the Destroyers. And they got Wolverine. They're like, yo, your son's going around, with the spirit of vengeance fucking up the place. So Wolverine's like, okay, I'll go get him. I said, no, you got to take this team with you. He's like, no, I work alone. So he storms out of there, but they send a hellhound after him to go track him. And then meanwhile, it turns out that the Destroyers, they're ex-dead soldiers with Hellfire, possessed by Hellfire. It turns out that they're retaining some of their memories and their souls. So one of them goes back to his family. He shows up at his family's house as this demon Cenobite type of thing and scares the shit out of the daughter and the wife. And Wolverine shows up and chops off his head. And then they had a big fight and shit. The Hellhound shows up. This is Wolverine tears him apart and shit. But then the Destroyers, these Cenobites, are going. They start wilding out because they're retaining their memories from when they were alive. So they take off, and where the hell are they going? And Wolverine's like, I think they declared war on our country. So, so you got these undead soldiers possessed by Hellfire, about to fuck up the place. So Wolverine has got to. I think that's what this is going. I think he's going to find Daken with the spirit of vengeance, and then they're going to go fight these dead soldiers. So, but this was fun. This was fun. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I didn't think I was going to like this. I thought it was going to be dumb, but it is. It's dumb. Again, just dumb, stupid fun. And Benjamin Percy is still on this book. He's incorporating, elements of his other runs, his other, arcs that he's written with Wolverine and Ghost Rider. So it's cool. 4 out of 5.
Okay. And sometimes, dumb, stupid fun, that's not a bad thing at all times.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Eli, are you ready for me to do an indie book?
Oh yeah, let's do it, yo.
Okay. All right. So technically it's Dark Horse. I'm doing a Dark Horse book. Okay. So the book I'm doing is Anansi Boys number 1.
Anansi Boys.
Are you familiar with this?
No, I didn't know.
Okay. Let me give you some background, because I think if I start talking about it, it's gonna sound familiar to you. Okay, so do you remember that Amazon show called American Gods?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Neil Gaiman made that show also. So he wrote a book, like a spinoff show of it, but he wrote a novel called Anansi Boys about Mr. Nancy from that show. So He wrote that book, he wrote the novel, and this is the adaptation of that novel.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was transcripted, even though Neil Gaiman wrote it, it was transcripted by Mark Bernardin.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so he's the one that transcripted us over, sir. Trying to think if I get more details about this.
Oh, so Mark Bernardin wrote the script.
Well, Neil Gaiman wrote it, but he kind of Mark Bernardin adapted it from the novel.
He adapted. Yeah, he turned it into a comic book.
He turned it into a comic, yeah. Okay. But it's basically the same story. He just changed some shit up, sir. So that's what it is. Anansi Boys. We're going to get into it, find out what it is. And I was just like, I wonder what this is about. So let's talk about it. And I think Amazon Prime is turning to a show, or they canceled the show, or they finished the show. I don't know what's going on with that show.
I think I own, like, I think during COVID when they were selling a lot of sales, I bought like a bunch of like series, like they were like complete series for like $10. And I think American Gods was one of them, and I still have not watched it yet.
Okay. So, but Mr. Dancy show up on that. Matter of fact, Mr. Dancy was like a breakout character on that show. So yeah. So anyway, let's get to it. Anansi Boys #1. Matter of fact, I even listened to the audible of this for like 5 minutes just to make sure I'm pronouncing it right.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I know I'm doing it right.
See, all right. Those, those audio books, they come in handy, man.
They come in handy. Yeah. When I'm riding from work and stuff like that. So yeah. But in between doing, I'm gonna put Anansi Boys in there. See, but you know what? I'm not gonna spoil myself. I'm gonna wait to see what Mark Bernard does. So yeah. All right. So we got here Anansi Boys starting up there, and it's basically telling you what, who, and how Anansi is. Now, for those who don't know what Anansi is an African god, like actual African god, not something that Neil Gaiman made up. Matter of fact, Anansi has showed up in other comics, like he showed up in DC before. He's like, I think like Vixen. I think he's like the god that powers her totem or whatever like that. He gives her animal powers and shit like that. And I think he's not even a he, because in those comics I think it's a she. And I think she has something to do with Nubia, like the Nubia and Wonder Woman shit, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, they're just saying what Anansi came from. They're basically saying how in African culture, like early African culture, before writing, before cave drawings, all the stuff like that, they basically told the stories of what they did like that. And the story they were telling of basically like not that they worshiped animals, but they basically felt like the animals were like avatars of gods that they came from. Like, the king always represented royalty, like the king of the beasts. The gazelle was always represented speed or fleet-footedness. The monkey was always foolish and dumb and, things like that. Now, in the old stories, like any evil that was around, it was always the tiger. They always thought like the tiger was the most evil thing you possibly. So anytime there's a story about a tiger, it never ends well, But that was then, and eventually those stories kind of morphed from tiger stories being the bad guy into spider being the bad guy. Because if you notice, like all those animals, the spider is controlling them. And basically, Anansi is the spider god, if that makes any sense. Spider god, trickster god, that's what Anansi is.
I'll wait till you. I was going to say, so I'll let you finish, Ken.
Okay, all right. So now that we know who Anansi is, what Anansi is, where Anansi came from, now we got to talk about the story. So we're talking about the story. We're talking about we're in London, and we got this guy named Charles Nancy, and he's about to get married. And his wife is telling him, his fiance. His fiance telling him, like, why don't you invite your family? Well, I can't invite my family because my mom is dead and I don't get along with my dad. They're like, invite your dad. Like, I don't really want my dad because my dad is an asshole. My dad is a womanizer. He's always touchy-feely with every woman he goes up against. And every time he sees me, he goes out of his way to embarrass me. Matter of fact, he gave me this nickname when I was a kid called Fat Charlie. I'm not even fat. Like, when I was a kid, I was kind of pudgy a little bit. But since he called me that name stuck with me to this day. So, and like I said, he's not a fat guy. And he basically told him, and his dad was always playing tricks on him. Like when he was in school, he told him that like it's Florida law, because he's from Florida. He told his Florida law to dress up as your favorite president when you come to school. He did that. The kids laughed at him. And his dad was in the a classroom laughing at him too, and he was like, that's why I don't talk to my dad anymore. He was like, and then he told my dad went to go see mermaids while I went to go look for mermaids. He's like hitting on every bikini chick walking around Florida, shit like that. And like that, I don't want anything to do with this guy. And she's like, so when the last time you talked to your dad? Like last time I talked to my dad was on my mom's deathbed. And he's talking about mom's deathbed and she was dying. And he was trying to get in contact with his dad, well, I think by Mrs. Higgler. He was trying to call her. And while doing that, he hears a band. He hears a band coming down the hospital bed. He's like, oh, shit, it must be him again. And his mom starts smiling like, uh-oh, it's him again. And yes, he has a marching band coming down the hospital with him, his dad. And his dad sees him. He was like, Fat Charlie, get the fuck out of my way. I'm going to see your mama. And so he sees mama, I'm here, darling. And she's just like, oh, you're here, baby. They like want to hear him again. And basically the band was playing her favorite song, Yellow Road. And she was like, that's nice of him to do that on the day before she died. He's like, no, well, that's the thing. She didn't die. The very next day, she walked out of the hospital. And she went all around the city, started flying around the city, started traveling all over the place. And she called me like years later about how much fun she was having, and she just passed away in her sleep like years later. She thinking that my dad coming to see her gave her a few more extra years of life. Like, I don't know why she thought that, but yeah, that's what's going on. So, and basically, though, she was like, well, he sounds like a fun guy. I want to meet him. Call your dad, or at least call Mrs. Higgler so she can get in contact with your dad. She's like, fine, if that'll make you happy, I'll do that. So she gets on the phone with Mrs. Higgler. She like, because she just looks up Mrs. Higgler's name, I guess, in the yellow books or Google or something like that. And if I hear like, Mrs. Higgler, this is Charles Nancy. She's like, who? Fat Charlie. Hey, Fat Charlie, I ain't seen you, blah, blah, blah. So she starts talking his ear off, shit like that. Fat Charlie, I ain't seen you in a while. I was like that. Like, he's like, look, I'm trying to get in contact with my dad. I'm getting married. As a matter of fact, if you want to come, you can come too. She's like, Fat Charlie, put me on speaker. I need to talk to you. Make sure she don't hear it. So you talk, she's like, huh? They're like, uh-oh. Ooh, okay, really? And she's like, damn, I gotta go to Florida. She's like, why? My dad just died. And so how did his dad die? 2 days earlier, he died doing karaoke singing to 3 white chicks. That's how he died. Yeah. So that's where the funeral was going on. What was he singing? And I think he was singing Not So Fast Pussycat by Tom Jones. I looked it up. That's what he was singing. So,
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So he's flying from London to Florida to go to his dad's funeral. Oh, and he ripped the dress off before he died also, because that's what he does. So he's running to the funeral because he's late for the funeral service. So he finally gets there. And when he gets there, the preacher asks, does anybody want anything to say before we bury, the dearly departed? And he just walks up to the casket. He's like, look, Dad, I know we had our differences. I know we never talked like that, but I'm gonna just tell you, because I never told you I love you before, but I'm gonna say it right here. I love you, I miss you, and I forgive you. And that's when Mrs. Higgler finally shows up. She's like, Fat Charlie, get your fat ass away from that bad casket and go over here to this other service and leave these good people alone. And she look around, and some white people. He's like, oh shit, I'm at the wrong service. Like, yeah, that's my grandma, man. What the hell you doing? And so they go to the funeral service. He missed the funeral service. She like, where the hell you been, Fat Charlie? Why ain't you come to this funeral service? And Charles wanted to cuss her ass out. He like, look, I was flying 3,000 miles, drove 3 hours from Orlando to get here, missed my exit just to get here, just to miss the funeral service. She's like, don't worry, you got plenty of time, because I'm gonna let you. You're gonna help dig the grave for your service. And the grave diggers left. She paid the grave diggers $30 so he can do it by himself. So he had to bury his dad, just by himself in the rain, And he's like, look, you paid your service. All right, let's go. And she's like, it's okay. You have to cry. Like, I'm not even crying. This is raining, She's like, and one more thing you got to do. You got to put your dad's house in order, because now we got to find out some way to do with all his belongings in his house. So he goes to his house, and he didn't know that his dad was like this voracious reader. He sees nothing but novels in his house. And he picks up this photo, and he sees 2 kids in there. Like, what's this other kid like? He sees one photo of him, but like, where does this other kid come from? Or maybe it's two pictures of him. And basically, Mrs. Higgler basically saying, how much she misses him. And he had this perfect smile. He was so handsome. He had this smile that could make a woman's toes curl. And he's like, whoa, hold up now. Mrs. Higgler, did you and my dad, like, hold up, don't you ever talk to me like that? I'm a grown woman. I mean, we kissed once, but that was before your mama, And he was just like, and he's pissed off. He was like, look, my dad was a deadbeat. He was a rotten father, rotten husband. I always cheated on my mama and shit like that, kicking over his books like that. I don't give a damn about these books. And Miss Higgler like, look, I know you pissed off about your dad, but don't judge your dad by a man, because your dad was a god. And he like, wait, what? To be continued. So, yeah. So he didn't know anything about that. So his dad was Mr. Nancy, the trickster god, spider god, whatever like that, So the next book is going to dig deeper into that lore. So yeah, this book got, I mean, it's still gaming. Like, when is like, y'all want to praise Jeff Lemire and suck all these other writers' dicks and shit like that? This is Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman don't miss. That's what it is. What do we got here?
Do they should make a series based on pod racing? Oh, he's talking about that's old.
He's still talking about pod racing. What do we got here? Steve. Yes, I'm glad you said that. He very, very much looked like Steve Harvey in this. So if they made a Steve, even though I think Orlando Jones played Mr. Nancy in the American Gods, and I think they've already done this. Yes, they need to put Steve Harvey in there and play Mr. Nancy. He'd be the perfect Steve Nancy. I mean, that's Steve Nancy.
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey. But yeah. Damn. Now I can't get that out of my head now. Because
he did. Yeah,
that's very much Steve Harvey. But yeah. All right. So Eli, anything else you got? Or
no? What I was gonna say, the whole thing about the trickster god and the spider.
Yeah.
So I watched the Lakota version of Avengers.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna review it right now, but just a little tidbit. Loki, what they called him in the Lakota version, they called him Iktomi, which means spider.
So they didn't call him Loki, they called him Iktomi. Okay, all right.
Iktomi, which means spider. Because spider in our stories is the trickster. So just a little tidbit from Avengers and Lakota. Yeah.
Interesting. That is. Yeah. So I wonder how many like cultures have a spider as their trickster god.
They're tricksters. Yeah.
Because we've seen this before. Like different cultures will kind of collect, like they kind of hit the nail on the head at the same time. It happened before, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's weird. And like every civilization, like a lot of civilizations hate spiders. Now, funny thing in Christianity, like we related snakes to evil. That's what we do. Like snakes are the evil, snakes are the tricksters, stuff like that. So it's funny.
But like the Seminoles and like I think Hindus, snakes are gods, you know. Right.
That's the thing. Like the West hates dragons, but the East worships them. You know, like
it's
funny how that works out. So yeah, I'm into the story. I'm interested. I want to see where it goes. Like I said, Neil Gaiman don't miss. So we're gonna keep going from that one. I guess we talked about everything. We ran through some topics, Eli.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you listen this long, definitely like, share, subscribe. Like I said, all we need to do is listen 30 seconds. That's not long. That's 30 seconds. That's it. You had 30 seconds that will affect the algorithm. It'll boost us up, put us out there. So yeah. We're gonna come back next week with something else. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what we're gonna talk about. Something else will drop.
Yeah, what else comes up?
Something will happen. Deadpool ain't next week. Don't worry about it.
No. Well, if you ever get around to Lakota and Avengers
well,
and
see,
Lakota.
Here's the thing. No. Well, here's the thing. Let's talk about Lakota Avengers for a second. I tried to get into it. Like I said, I watched the Spanish version of it, the Los Vegadores. I watched the Spanish version of it. But the thing is, with the Lakota language, just to be honest with you, Eli, I don't have like a way in there. So, because I was trying to listen for the language of it to see what was going on with that one, but I don't have any like reference words to get off on there. Now, I will say this. Now, I heard what's the Bruce Banner guy's name? The actor, the main actor,
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. I heard Mark Ruffalo. I'll be honest with you, Eli. The other guys don't sound like their guys.
No, so they didn't do all the dialogue. It's just certain scenes. I think it's the scenes where they're arguing about, you know, please drop the scepter, Mr. Banner, or that whole scene, you know.
Okay.
I think I think the actors came in for that, but they're not for everybody. Not the whole movie isn't in them. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I knew I would crave it. That is not Tony Stark. I know it's not. But
yeah.
Okay. So that makes more sense then. Okay. So I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna do it again. Just to find a way to get into it, but I'm gonna definitely listen for that also. So,
but if we do, I can go on about it because Fat T showed me a bunch. Like they had to make up a bunch of words that didn't exist.
And that's the thing, because here's the thing, because Josh Whedon writing is so unique or weird. Like even like some of the writing he does right now, like I said, when Avengers came out, like almost damn like 15 years ago or some shit, 13, something like that.
2012,
like even the language we use in that one, some of those words like are outdated. Like you got to make up something for that. Even the Spanish version I doing, they changed some shit. You know, it wasn't the exact same with that. Also, they had to make stuff fit in there.
So. Yeah, well, just certain words didn't exist, like don't exist, like walkie-talkie and shit like that.
Right.
So Fat T gave me he found a list of the words they made. But if we talk about it, I can go into that. Yeah. But we don't have to do it.
No problem. But I'm gonna check it out again. Like I said, I don't need an excuse to watch Avengers. I'm watching every language if I have to. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, check us out next week. We're gonna come up with new stuff. Until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.